Dinar Talk May 27, 2017. Rusty Bucket says, Sistani pushes the start of Ramadan off until Sunday? Just like that? Could it be that they wanted to allow a couple more days to finish Mosul so as to be able to say it was done before Ramadan, or am I reading too much into that? Dinara says, Rusty Bucket, it makes sense to me. I always remember the interview when it was said everyone would wake up Sunday morning to a whole new world. Saturday midnight works for me, Loco Felipe. It is not uncommon for one of the religious authorities to change a time and date on the Ramadan. Sistani did the very same thing 2 years ago. We all got excited. And nothing happened. I would stay grounded, keep your wits about you and not let the emotions control your every thought on this ride. Fuse, I think what gives a unique flavor to Sistani's decision regarding Ramadan, and any other action in Iraq that we may have seen before, is the totality of all the things happening together. This we have never seen or experienced. No matter how long you may have been involved. Bijox says, the start of Ramadan and or Jewish festivals begin at the visual sighting, with the naked eye, of the moon phase by the priest or Rabbi etc. It's not a date and time like we do holidays here. El Murph says, massive 2-4 HRS for Iraq's hashed in western Nineveh villages liberated, Biski, Kabuziyat, Haytamayat, Talgazi, Rafi, Kojo, Amlihat. Now the wall has been broken in Old Mosul city and a huge military offensive is beginning any moment. Dinara says, thanks Elmer, that shows something is happening over there. Elmer says, also supports my earlier post in higher offensive in the old city. It's real hot right now and Iraq is smiling. Ray-Ren 98, tweet, Iraq, full-scale assault on old city and remaining districts, neighborhoods, and villages. The public-based full liberation of Mosul is expected later this evening. U.S., the banking community is on an all-time high with expectancy. Their train of thought is this will probably lead to some type of private exchanges over the weekend and then possibly a full public exposure after May 30th. It's all speculative for now. Remain calm, let's see how things unfold. At KTFA regarding article, banking expert, government implement the economic reform program in cooperation with the International Monetary Fund, posted below. From Mexcel, okay, so this was highlighted. Iraqi economy and Iraq, a positive sign will come out of its crisis at the end of the year after the completion of the war against Daesh, and the government's attention and orientation towards what has been planned during the first half of the current year. So is this economist telling us this is being kicked to the end of the year? I appreciate the article, but as far as economist talk I had enough. Until there's someone of importance like Alec or Abadi saying that, I won't feel bad or good. From Delta, based on this article it should be done by the first half of 2017, keep in mind that will not help Iraq right away, it will helps US right away lol, it will take them until end of the year to see a good outcome. From TP Noble, the first half of 2017, that's more like it. Thank you for clarification Delta. From Agidad77, let me try and lead you in yet another look at this stupendous article that Delta has shared with us. This I believe is the same economist we heard Frank speak of recently, and he spoke highly of this man's regard with Abadi and his government, the ones who are truly trying to make changes happen within Iraq. They are saying, this strategy perfectly in line with the economic and financial reform program was agreed upon with the International Monetary Fund. So their work is aligning with expectations of the IMF, on both fronts, economic and financial reform, or in other words their monetary reform. Yes, go ahead and jump up and down with joy. They are working these reforms as they were expected to do so, as they told the IMF they would be doing, and then the government's attention and orientation towards what has been planned during the first half of the current year. To get any program from here to there, from point A to point B to point C, you have get things done in advance, so you and others can see your improvement. In my opinion, get ready for them to finalize a couple of important issues that they have been working with utmost diligence since the beginning of this year, the war on Daesh, and their economic and financial reforms, etc. the monetary reform, culmination, who knows when, we don't give dates here, but look at all that has been shared with you. Don't be dumping your notes in the toilet just because you see in one article a mention of next year. Put your thinking cap on, even if they are VED right now this second. They as a country, Iraq, will not immediately begin to reap any benefits from the action. It will take time, just as it has taken them time to go from what they agreed upon with the IMF/WB way back when until now, seeing the tree start to finally bear fruit worth picking. The same holds true going forward. What they do as a result of today's efforts in Mosul, as a result of today's efforts in the GOI, today's efforts in the CBI, you won't see the long-term effects in the blink of an eye. Sure, we may see the RV, and sure, that can definitely benefit us in a hurry, but for Iraq as a country, they don't care about us as investors, they care about their people, about the long-term safety and security and stability of their nation and people. That is what this article, in my opinion, is talking about. It is evolving, it's the very lava flow that Frank has spoken of for years. Nothing will stop it, don't get in its way. It flows mightily, and I am excited by all we see of it, today, yesterday, last week, last month, even last year. Oh buddy, what is coming is pure excitement in my book, all in my opinion. Aloha Randy. From Frank 26, on target, great job on this article. Lava flow is magma hot. From Delta, banking expert, government implement the economic reform program in cooperation with the International Monetary Fund Calc. Salah Baban, an economist, stressed that the Iraqi government developed in 2017, a plan consistent with the emergency conditions experienced by Iraq because of the sharp fall in global oil prices by 70% compared with the beginning of the year 2014, noting that the plan took into account the non-oil resources available in Iraq during this year, stressing that the plan developed in cooperation with the IMF in a program of economic and financial reform in 2017, said an expert in the financial and banking advisor to the Iraqi Association of Private Banks Samir Naziri Affairs in a statement to the media network Calc, on Wednesday, that the government of Iraq, despite the economic conditions critical, it succeeded in developing a core economic plan this year to cope with the economic crisis experienced by Iraq, especially after falling oil prices to the unexpected level by an estimated 70% from the beginning of the year 2014, stressing that the IMF has contributed to the development of the economic plan for Iraq to cope with the current crisis, especially with regard to economic and financial reform program for the current year. Naziri pointed out that the recovery of the Iraqi economy indicators began to appear after the relative rise in global oil prices during the period from the beginning of the current year to the day, especially during the current month, adding that oil prices began to rise this month after the implementation of the OPEC agreement to cut production and reduce supply in the market oil in the world. He added that this agreement has led to a relative recovery in the Iraqi dinar in the light of the prudent monetary policy followed by the Central Bank of Iraq in the development of new applications in line with its strategy for the years of 2016-2020 mechanisms, explaining that this strategy, perfectly in line with the economic and financial reform program, was agreed upon with the International Monetary Fund and in particular the first and second, which took place between the Iraqi delegation and the delegation of the World Bank in Washington for review. He explained that these results give us the recovery of the Iraqi economy in Iraq, a positive sign will come out of its crisis at the end of the year after the completion of the war against Daesh, and the government's attention and orientation towards what has been planned during the first half of the current year. That's it for now. Like and subscribe to this ICT Calls YouTube channel. End.